BMW R1150R battery replacement. You need the key. Turn the key, release the rear half of the dual seat. Put the key back in the ignition. Lift the back of the front dual seat and slide it rearwards. Put the seats in a safe place. Off to the other side. Not yet. We have to remove the fuel tank to access the battery. These are quick disconnects. You push this tab and you'll feel a little spring action and it'll separate. BMW equipped these from the factory with plastic quick disconnects. They're prone to fracturing here, spraying you with fuel. If you have plastic quick disconnects in any manner, whether BMW's upgraded ones or original, I strongly suggest going to beamerboneyard.com and finding these metal replacement quick disconnects. far, far, far superior, and they come with spare O-rings. Less money too. So we disconnect our fuel supply and return. We disconnect the vent hoses this way. Keep the connector on this end. Take the connector on the other. That way you won't mix them up. Here is the electrical connector for the fuel tank. You're going to squeeze these two tabs, which will release. Sometimes they don't release, and you have to get in with a pick or a screwdriver and pry them off of the tabs on the female connector. Our vent hoses are disconnected. Our fuel hoses are disconnected. Our electrical connection is disconnected. We are next left with removing the mount for the fuel tank. T45. With these both being free, put your hand under the tank here, and your left hand under the front. Right underneath the front here, directly under the front of the tank here, is the top mount for the front shock. If you go yarding this tank up aggressively, you're going to chip the paint along the front here. Take your fingers of your left hand and go underneath the front of the tank. Straddle that shock mount, and that will protect the tank. Your right hand, flat, under here, right up to your thumb, and lift. Lift, and then start moving backwards. It's probably going to be heavy, especially with a full tank. The battery, but it doesn't come out this side. You're not even ready to take it out yet. There's more to do. This is the airbox lid. In that last great century, this lid was held on with a couple of clips. Someone thought they'd be smart and upgrade. So now you need a Phillips screwdriver, where before you needed no tool at all, to remove these two screws So why is he taking the fucking airbox apart? The battery's right there. Disconnect your diagnostic plug from its holder. Push the wire retainer on your temperature sensor in the airbox lid. Lift the rear of the airbox lid and remove it. The airbox lid is held into place with these two tabs. They fit into corresponding slots on the front of the airbox. And then this all clips down into place for a nice tight fit. Some people install these incorrectly. Next, you are in need of yet another tool. Back in that last great century, this piece here was slotted to allow you to remove the snorkel so that you could gain access to the strap pull tab to pull down the rubber band on the battery. That is the way it's supposed to be. The pull tab goes down at the bottom. not up top. Need a 10mm wrench. Has a lock washer below it. And you'll see that the cable has a stud built into the end of it. What I do in this case, put those back on, put the washer and the nut back on. It's going to be a little bit before we actually have the new battery installed. Move on to your positive side. And we'll do the same. If this model were equipped with anti-lock brakes, that equipment would be in this position. Being a non-ABS bike, this space is empty. We'll lift the battery out. This battery says 05 April 2009, 31,497 miles. Hey, that's a good run, 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. I installed that Westco battery over 10 years ago.